Greetings and hallucinations, all you folks out there. We're going to be looking at a Wonder game today. This is Wonder Open 5 versus 5, and I've been informed that apparently there is a new meta in the air game. Let's go ahead and dive into this and see what it might be. But first, we need to introduce the teams, and then we'll look at the beginning build. On the left side, or the north side, depending on how you divide up your map, we've got Westmania taking Cybern in the air slot, Roadrunner as Cybern on right guard, Aeon, the faction of choice for Megavirus, who is actually Pascal. Then we've got Seraphim for Arrow 24X New, and Maverick taking Aeon. Is there any UEF? There is not. So we're missing a faction on the north side. On the south, we have Nekwalich as Cybern, Nexus of Reality, also Cybern. Pascal taking UEF. Wait a minute. There's two green players. That is actually Megavirus. That is his real name. My bad, folks, and I'm sorry to Pascal for mistaking him. Jazzy is taking Cybern, and last but certainly not least, Aeon for Soffles in the air slot. And that is a 1900 and a 1700 and a 1500. Wow. Heavy rank tip towards the south team. We've got a 12,000, a 1,000, and a 1,400. Holy cow, that's a rank discrepancy. This is like maybe 60% balance. This is gonna be interesting to see if the north side can win on this, because this is just a huge disadvantage as far as rank goes. Nekwalich, 2 land factories right off the bat, and holy hell, that is great faith in the reclaim to come. He is just barely balancing out, already spitting out engineers left, right, and center to grab some of this mass, and I think he may have slightly overestimated, because he is going to hit a -10 mass stall, only getting 1 mechs down. I would bet money that he assumed that this is the map with the reclaim in the middle, and he's probably thinking, hey, I'll get some reclaim from my good old buddy that's going to run up to the mid and actually get some mass, but sadly that is not the case. There is a little bit of early aggression coming from the north side. We've got first land, second air for Soffles. Then we've got 1 land factory spitting out engineers for Nexus of Reality. 1 land factory and 1, 2, 3 land factories planned for Jazzy. Probably going to see some ACU upgrades on this one maybe. Unless he is getting a super duper early T2 Mex upgrade right there. Then on the north side we have tons of land factories and an air factory planned for Maverick. Got a couple of land factories there, a couple of land factories there, a couple of land factories everywhere. And Westmania doing the same traditional build. First land, second air in the air slot. And that scout is running all over the back end of this, breaking as many tree clumps as he possibly can to force a little bit slower reclaim for Soffles in the back there. That is going to make life a little bit more difficult for him. It does look like there is a mole headed up north here. Actually, that is a snoop, my bad. Doing the same thing to the north side. So it's going to be tit for tat. Everybody is going to lose their tree clumps. Look at that. Just trampling all of those harmless trees. Man, Mother Nature is probably angry at you. Or whatever this planet's equivalent is. What planet is Wonder on? I have no idea. I don't think there is a descriptor on that. Mantis in the back here, going to try to take out a mass extractor, but 3 Auroras moving in for the save. 4th backing it up. Unfortunately going to lose that land scout, but yeah, going to take care of that threat without losing anything too major. Beautiful bomb there for Westmania. That was 3 kills on Soffles engineers. Is going to pick up another in the back here, and probably a couple of more before it's over with, because it does not look like Soffles actually has any air yet. Here comes his first interceptor. He is definitely on an economy build. Westmania pulling up a couple of interceptors very early and grabbing that T2 mass extractor that he oh so desperately needs for the traditional economy build on the Wonder air slot. We do have an early Jester coming out, but there is an interceptor for Roadrunner. These guys are actually doing very well as far as a balanced early build. Having a little bit of your own air up is not a bad thing, even in a team game, and it does look like Roadrunner is throwing down tons of land factories. We are going to be seeing some spam from him. A mobile anti-air and a second interceptor are going to be able to kill off that Jester, but not before it kills off the engineer that had all of that build queue recorded. A couple engineer kills there for the red bomber. It is going to loop around for another pass. Going to get at least one more before this interceptor drops it. And bombers everywhere. We've got Maverick also bombing the crap out of this group of Mantis that's moving up against him. Hopefully he will be able to get some T1 units to his aid and not get run over by any kind of Mantis rush. Although with only 4 factories, I don't think that Jazzy is going to be doing much unit rushing. Roadrunner doing a fantastic job denying that little push there. If he can kill that scout and then cap all of this stuff, he will be at an economy advantage over Nekwilich, which is definitely going to help him out considering that, again, there's a 200 rank discrepancy just on that slot. Looks like Jazzy is going to have to back up a little bit in the face of a handful of Auroras and Maverick's commander. He's going to get his pathfinding tangled by that Spirit. It's going to be a little too close for a little too long. He needs to back his commander up. Looks like we've got units coming in from green. A little bit of assist. Being a helpful teammate, pushing a few tanks to that side along with Jazzy's own units. That should do a fantastic job of denying that commander its initial push. You do not want to get too low health when there are Auroras around, because as we all know and love, or hate, depending on which side of that war you're on, the Auroras can outrange an ACU and pester it literally to death. So Jazzy does need to keep his health up and his hopes up, get some more tanks on the board to deal with those threats. Nexus of Reality going to collide with Megavirus here in the middle. One more note to think about. Mantis are the fastest tanks, Auroras are the slowest tanks. This is the best possible combo for dealing with the range advantage on the Aurora. Some Thams moving down in the center. That's going to be a little sketchy because with that, Jazzy is going to be severely outnumbered. That is actually enough tanks to kill that commander. So he needs to be very careful about his micro. His commander placement needs to get the hell out of dodge before he winds up dead. Alright, on the north side, we have a T2 point defense down. That Cerberus turret immediately going to start wailing away at one of these mass extractors. That is going to be a good area denial tool at this phase in the game where there is no T2 land as of yet that I can see. So no mobile missile launchers to deny those point defense emplacements. Just barely enough units for Jazzy to hang on to control of his building area. He did lose the engineer that was building that land factory, but he will have enough units to pull his commander out alive. Down to 3,500 health. Not looking that great, but he is not quite dead yet. Looks like Nekwilich is going to make a counter push around the north side. This is exactly why Cerberus turrets are not exactly the best way to go, or any T2 point defense for that matter, because mobile units can simply go around them. I do like this though. There is a TML online that is going to be able to knock out some of this economy anyway. Since there are no T2 factories online, well, there's one right there. Nexus of Reality is getting a T2 engineer or 3 online. Got to have T2 tech to get those TMDs online. And that is the only thing standing between you and a severe lack of mass extractors. Jazzy definitely needs to start getting some T1 point defense online. He does have one planned in the back here. There are no... I take that back. There is one, count it, one mobile artillery in this entire force until all the way back here. And Auroras die by the dozen to T1 point defense. So he needs to get that online as a top priority in order to salvage his commander alive. Veterans, he brought the health back up just a little bit, but still down at 2,700 health, and that's not a good place to be. T2 radar going up on the front there. Looks like we've already had a mass extractor snipe from this TML. It is empty in the chamber, so mass stalling a little bit right now, not building at maximum efficiency, but Roadrunner is doing a pretty good job of suppressing Nekwilich. Definitely not hurting for that rank disadvantage. There's a Corsair out. Not good, not good. 1,500 health, 1,700 health left on that ACU. Corsair dang near did him in, but that Corsair was shot down by a handy-dandy Swiftwind. Swiftwinds to save the day once again. Arrow 24 pushing up versus Pascal. Pascal went for the economy route. He has a lot of shiny T2 mass extractors, but T2 mass extractors do not kill tanks. He's getting some T1 point defense down. I think he'll actually have enough to deny this ACU push, but a gun comm is no laughing matter. T2 commander without pre-established... Oh! 700 health. Another Corsair coming in for a pass. Is there another in the back? Looks like we're back at Interceptor building. Corsair might make it for another round. If he does, that commander is as good as dead. 600 health. Bad targeting on that one. I think given the two, at this stage in the game, I would rather have the gun comm than the T2 comm. Especially when there's a severe lack of build power like there is right here for Pascal. And then Arrow 24 is knocking out those T2 mass extractors with excellent efficiency, reducing that economy that's already in shambles even further. Corsair is going to get shot down, leaving Jazzy alive with 200 health. These guys have got to do something to defend from these Corsairs. Air is still in the hands of Westmania, but now that there are Swiftwinds out on the map, that means that there is probably a limited amount of time where Westmania is going to keep control of that. Jazzy pulling a dodge on that Corsair. 300, 400 health left on the commander, and now Air belongs to Soffles. That's what he has been waiting for. I'm sure he has a buttload of air factories, and they are all building T1 bombers. Is that the new meta that they were talking about? I think that is probably the new meta that they were talking about. Let's see. Fun for me. The new meta is T1 bombers. Yes, go air meta this game. Okay, so T1 bombers, the air meta. I'm going to be all hipster about this and say that this was... I was doing this before it was cool. Hate me if you will. I have the beard to take my stand. Okay, that was horrifyingly bad. I apologize for that. Anyway, I have actually done this before, where if you just spam the ever-living crap out of T1 bombers, there's the counter to it right there, mobile flak. That's exactly what you need to deny this entire business. But if you have 2 or 3 people go gun commander, push the line forward as far as possible, and instead of ecoing, you just spam the ever-living daylights out of T1 bombers and interceptors, you can actually overpower and kill 2 commanders, ideally, before the opposing team can recover, and then you've basically won it. I am very, very surprised that more people have not adopted that strategy. I think in large part it is because people like their eco and their long games. We're up to about 25 or 30 bombers here now, and those are easily going to dispatch all of those tanks with the help of a split attack order. I like the artillery dodging up here for Nexus of Reality. When he was moving around those artillery, Aeon Arty does the most damage, but it has basically no area of effect. Sneaky bastards of a Mantis. Look at those. Zipping around the back to grab a mass extractor over there. We do have Vipers up now, so that is... they're going to get pushed away by the TMD that's up, but that is of limited use. Aeon TMD actually does the best out of any TMD versus Vipers because it doesn't split the missiles up. It either kills them or diverts them, but they do eventually die. And it looks like they are dying right now. That one is pretty low on health. 40, one more missile hit, and that is going to go down. Transport moving in to drop engineers. Westmania saying, hey, I'm going to get in on this reclaim here. And he has lost air once again to Soffles. Soffles is free to continue building those bombers with no fear of retribution. This is going to be the difficult choice here. Westmania, it looks like he has resource allocation. He's getting another upgrade on his ACU, probably T2 or T3, or proceeding into T3. And he is getting the T3 air factory up. So the question is, can he get ASF before all of his teammates die to bombers? That is the big question here. And this is not good. Roadrunner has no mobile flak, no stationary flak, no flak of any kind, and for that matter, only one single solitary T1 anti-air. Here comes the bombers. Looks like first pass is going to be for the Vipers. He's going to wipe out all those mobile missile launchers in order to save his teammate a fair bit of trouble. And then those are probably all going to turn around and attack that ACU. That is definitely what I would do if I were him. And Roadrunner is about to have a huge amount of damage coming in on that commander. Yeah, they don't do that much per bomber, but when you have, let's count these up here, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 59. 59 T1 bombers is a lot. I repeat, a lot of damage, especially when you're standing on top of a building that's not letting you move around and dodge. Oh, 1,300 health. 900. If you just dodged, you would be able to survive this. 400. Running little circles, man. Nope. T2 gunships. You're dead, bro. You're dead. And boom! Another ACU meets its end in a warm nuclear fire. Westmania, let's hope he doesn't share the same fate. This is the perfect reaction. Immediately building a T2 flak. You can just watch the bombers disintegrate as they fly over that flak. He is going to lose a lot of build power. That's bad. But he will be able to defend his ACU and probably kill off a couple of Swift Winds if he's able to maintain that flak. Bombers coming around for another pass. And they're going to be falling by the dozen as they come around here. So many Swift Winds. Thankfully, the shield is back up. Westmania really desperately needs some build power now. He has just about thinned out the crowd of bombers. He's down to about 15, maybe 20 tops. And those are shrinking numbers still. He has resource allocation on his ACU. So even though he's lost his T2 power generators, it is not the end of the world. Although he will be short on T3 air production for a little bit. Because as we all know, Cybern only has one single resource allocation upgrade. And that is not enough to push full-scale T3 air production. More bombers being built. Still on Swift Winds. No reason to go to T3 air just yet when your opponent does not have any. And why I play against 3 with idiots. Again, how is he playing against 3? He has got green versus him and blue versus him. I see maybe a 2 versus 1 at best. Wait a minute. What sort of balance is this? You just now noticed that you have an absurd discrepancy in balance. Well, this is not actually all lost. Nekwilich is grabbing the reclaim up there and rebuilding. It looks like Megavirus is spreading out his base in order to capture all of this. But look at the huge mass of Vipers. 2 people spamming Vipers in order to get an upper hand on all of these defenses. This is not good at all, especially when you have an opponent that's at T3. We've got Loyalists on the map. That one has 11 kills right there. It's Comrades in Arms. We're able to wipe out a little bit of stuff out on the south side. And what would be really devastating is if they were able to wipe out another one of these economies. The Loyalist is going to be faster than T1 tanks. It's going to be a lot stronger than T1 tanks. And I don't see why it couldn't actually do it. It is going to run around to the back and probably pick off those T2 and T1 mass extractors and the energy storages without too much problem at all. And we do have a Loyalist up here in the middle killing off those mass extractors, just gradually reducing the economy of their opponents. Well done, sir. Well done. That looks like a T3 upgrade to me if I had to guess at it. Still on T2. Soffles has resource allocation. He has just the single one. Not ARAS, I don't think. Maybe he does. Let's take a look here. I have a hard time telling from the badge. Nope, just one. Yeah, it fills in the 3rd dot there with ARAS. That's what I was not remembering. Okay. So Loyalist moving up through here. Yes, this is exactly what I was afraid of. This Loyalist just tearing a new one in the back of this base. He is up to 23 kills. We have a pair of Loyalists up in these bases now. I see T3 engineers. We do have a T3 land factory online for Megavirus, but I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to take for that to be productive. Loyalists just shredding all these T1 engineers at the moment. If he's able to get a couple of Harbingers up, Harbingers can compete with Loyalists. But getting them up is the problem, and look at the huge quantity of T1 bombers that Soffles is now under his disposal. Once again, 76. I should have been keeping kind of a running tally on these. He's got to be up to 200 bombers by now. He has to be up to 200 total. Nekwilich trying to kill off these T1 tanks as they pass him by. Thankfully, they're going to stop. Try to do a little damage to that volcano. Need to keep the TMD online because you cannot afford to lose these freshly built T2 mass extractors. They have not even paid for themselves yet. T1 bombers moving towards the south side. I would not be surprised at all if those are headed for some of these engineers around in the back. Possibly those T1 tanks. Arrow playing it dangerous. He is moving up towards the front, but he does have mobile flak shortly behind his ACU. There are a couple of ASF online, but nothing too much from Westmania. Westmania is going to lose those very quickly, I think, when those Swift Winds turn back. And there they go. And the flak is doing terrible, terrible things to these bombers. Holy crap, look at that. It says there's only 3 kills on it. I'm wondering if that's calculating correctly. There has to be more than 3 kills on that flak. And now the flak is dead. That's unfortunate. But that is a Gun Nano T2 comm. 22,000 health at his disposal with a brutal amount of regen. Well over 100 regen. That's going to be a tough son of a gun to kill. Well, he has T3 mechs already, so which one is he referring to? Soffles does not. Westmania has several. So the economy game, the long-term game, I think is belonging to Westmania. Roadrunner, how much AA damage does a T3 mechs do? That is the real question. Whether you can prevent enough of your team from dying to win the game in the T3 stage, or whether you should just go all out on production and protect your teammates and let them win the game. That is the choice that the air player has to make. I was just noticing that there's a bunch of mechs missing here. There was a Loyalist run by, and I think I completely missed it. That is sad. There's a T3 gunship on the south side. Whaler picking off those engineers with impunity. The ASF are on its back, though, and it will survive a fair bit because it does have a very large amount of health. 6,400 with that veterancy. It's going to survive like 4 passes of those ASF. That is actually quite brilliant. The AA is pretty much non-functional on those gunships, though. Sad, sad thing. Loyalist moving around the back. That is going to kill off 2 more T2 mass extractors and probably move into Westmania's base. There's a T2 transport online for Westmania. Not entirely sure what's going on there. But there are more Loyalists moving up through the center. And this is... Was that one Loyalist that killed all that? No, there's one Loyalist. That was one Loyalist that killed those 3 mass extractors. That one that came through right here. But we're having another run by now. So we'll get to see some more desolation. 4 Loyalists packed together moving off into Maverick's base. Maverick has got to be frustrated right now because he made so much progress against his opponent, and now he is getting destroyed from the inside by a couple of Loyalists from one of his opponents, one of his teammates' opponents. That's technically Megavirus that is versus Blue. But I think he can be forgiven for not really paying that much of attention because he is trying to control the entire north side of the map at the moment. Not good for him. Maverick, why me? Westmania, shut up. Yeah, the salt is real in this game, and, you know, I can't really blame him because a lot of times you'll see someone who complains nonstop about getting double-teamed or triple-teamed or what they think is triple-teamed, and sometimes you just want them to crawl in a hole and die and not bother you anymore. I mean, it's not like you're being mean. It's not like you're well, okay, you are wishing death on someone. But, yeah. This is a unique situation because with an Aeon TMD, you actually want your mobile missile launchers to be firing on separate cycles. Whereas with every single other TMD, it is better to have them all firing together. So if they all close range at the same time, if they're all firing at the same time, the Aeon TMD is able to deflect or straight up kill huge numbers of simultaneous attacks. Loyalists are now up in Westmania's base, going to kill off a little bit of his economy in the back here. That is unfortunate, but he is keeping all of his T3 mechs online. So it's not going to be the end of the world. You need to kind of space out, which these Flapjacks are doing a pretty dang good job of. They do have a decently spread out grouping of missiles, which are not all going to get affected. You can see just a couple pulled off now and then by the Aeon TMD. That was a little worse, but 2 still connecting, and then that one is going to be a little bit better. So that is the story of the Aeon TMD. That's exactly what you don't want. All these that are launched together, and deflect! Yes! Alright, we've got some transports dropping in. Those are moving over from Nekwalich. It's just some minor stuff, not anything too terrible. And those Loyalists did get driven back from the main base, but they're still wreaking havoc on the outer reaches of Maverick's base. I keep forgetting what his name is. The guy in blue. There's a brick drop coming in. That is going to be all the way on the back end. It is flying over some tanks, though. There go all the T1 bombers. Ouch! It's exactly what you need. All of these T2 mobile flak out there. That was probably 100 bombers. Quite easily 100 bombers. And it went to complete and total waste thanks to a couple of mobile flak. Talk about mass efficiency. There is a brick and 4 loyalists versus 5 harbingers and a couple of OP obsidians. I think that the harbingers are probably outmatched, and if they aren't outmatched right now, they will be in just a minute because there are more bricks pouring out of the factory as we speak. Once those bricks get online, that's pretty much it. There's a brave little flapjack there in the back. Actually, that's an even song. Just trying to kill off some things, but that is going to be a deflected tac missile, which is going to impact on the terrain there and not actually go kill the even song. That is unfortunate. For those of you who are wondering, the Loyalist TMD, the deflection TMD, returns the missile in a straight line to the target with no arc. So if you have any terrain formations between you and whatever launched the tac missile, the missile will hit the terrain. And that's the same kind of thing if the missile is getting deflected back at you. If you build a factory or something in front of you, if it deflects an actual tac missile worth 6,000 damage, the tac missile will hit the structure because it's so close to the ground, as opposed to hitting something more important. More T1 bombers. Soffles is just not giving up on this. That vast grouping of bombers just tearing a new one in all of those Auroras. Once again, Aurora's a half-health tank. They die in one bomb. And that is just devastating. Oh, look! Is that... Oh, no. That's T2 engineers in a stealth. That means we're probably going to have at least an attempt at attack snipe. I like this game so much more now. We had mass T1 bombers, and now we've got Cybran backstabbiness. The mobile stealth does stealth the transport that it's on, as well as when the thing lands, it will be able to stealth anything those engineers build in this back corner. And I don't think there's an Omni in this base. There's T2 radar, but that will not reveal anything that is under stealth. When I drop like this actually worked out brilliantly because the transport is staying on top of the engineers. But if this transport tries to fly away anywhere, you want to control K it so that it does not leave the stealth radius. You also need to be careful with your tacs. With that transport there, it's the arrow. Okay. Oh, that was something else. With the transport there, if you build your tacs too close, the tacs will actually collide with the edge of the transport as they launch. But he does have room right there. He is out to the side. Those tacs are going to launch straight up and then arc over, so he is absolutely good. Lots of ASF, lots of bombers, and that, my friends, is a Monkey Lord. It is scouted. It has been pinged. I think it's been scouted. There's the dot. I think they have pinged it. Yes, they know it's there. You have enough mass for a GC maybe? With all of that reclaim? I don't know about a GC, but there is a fair bit of mass out there. That is for sure. So many bombers. This is boggling my mind. We're back up to 70 bombers after losing 100% of them. What is he up to now? About like 400? 400 bombers? Is that too conservative? I'm not entirely sure. There's been a T3 P-Gen handed away to Maverick. I am not entirely sure what he is building that he needs a T3 for. Nothing really. That P-Gen, he needs to build his own P-Gen and get back to business. And I don't think he has, nope, no resource allocation. He should get resource allocation and then hand that P-Gen back to the air player, because the air player always needs more power than pretty much anybody else. Let's see, we've got nothing in that one. Westmania must be stalling. 335. He needs to balance his economy, because if he doesn't, the longer that sits there, the better chance it has of being scouted, because there are scouts out and around the map. Megavirus is retreating. That is wise in the face of a Monkey Lord pressing down on your location. He needs to get a transport somewhere. Ah, he is building one for himself. Doesn't even have to ask his air player for a transport. How's that for self-sufficiency? 3 Oblivion turrets is not going to be enough to kill off 5 bricks and a Monkey Lord. That ACU is going to get away. Don't think there's going to be any issue whatsoever there. And let's see what his income looks like. Megavirus is sitting on a slight mass deficiency. I think I would actually be building Oblivions, because Oblivion turrets may be able... There's the tax. T1 bombers closing in on that ACU. There it goes. ACU is down. Soffles has been defeated. Those bombers looks like they're going after the T3 P-Gen, and they're all about to fall out of the sky. And there goes all the ASF, all the base, all the economy. It is dead. So very, very, very dead. 54,000 health versus a fresh Monkey Lord. Westmania, that was his mass stall right there. He definitely needed to get that Monkey Lord up to counter this one. Monkey Lord is targeting random other things, and Westmania is just completely and utterly obliterating his backside. That Monkey Lord is going to turn around and try to fire, but it is far too late. He is taking a pounding in the rear from that laser, and that is all she wrote, folks. Still 2/3 health remaining on that Monkey Lord. There's still some loyalists to deal with on this side. Westmania actually needs to be worried here. Does he have energy storage? He does have energy storage, so he can overcharge. Don't think that's enough loyalists to be able to kill an ACU, but it is enough loyalists to potentially kill off some power generators, and that would be a bad loss. Westmania, no! Don't walk next to the power generator that's about to blow up. Of course, you could overcharge. Oh, instant half health calm. Come on. If all of those loyalists had been focus firing that commander, that would have ended very, very badly. Bomber killing its own base there. Not good. T1 bombers are going to take care of this base down here. Yep, TMD going down for Jazzy. That's going to be the end of that. No more luck for the TAC base, but hey, it did what it was supposed to do and then some. So we do have that Strat Bomber still in the back, building a couple of Whalers. We've got some more... Oh, those are Titans. Titans and Percivals that are trying to kill this base off, but there's some T1 point defense that are doing good work on that Percival. Looks like we may have another death right there as well. Wall section is doing a fantastic job of protecting that point defense. Percivals are going to get forced back. Got a Strat Bomber and a Gunship on those with more combat units coming out. And that Monkey Lord is going to move into this base. We're going to get an ACU kill on this one. It's close. That is not a full health Monkey Lord. It does not have any veterancy. And there are a handful of bricks and an ACU capable of overcharging right there in the base. And that is the real question here. Nope, he is running away. I was about to say, if you run forwards while you have shields to protect you and land those overcharges, you do actually have a chance of surviving. A better chance than running away and getting trapped in all of your units and then not being able to do anything. And then, oh no, ACU running forward, going to try to overcharge. And he's dead. The Monkey Lord's down too, but it did its job. That is the end of Nekwilich. That leaves 3 versus 4. But the South team does not have any air whatsoever. I think that might have been the Death Knell. Possibly. Death Knell? A ringing of a bell is a knell, right? Death Knell? Death Knell? Someone inform me in the comments. Bell is probably listening to me out there on the other side of the door and just cringing at my misuse of the English language. There is a Monkey Lord out for Nexus of Reality. I just got a glare from Bell peeking in the door. Oh, that just made my night. Okay. So we do have some T3 tanks moving in on the Monkey Lord, but that is enough monkey to definitely deal with the awful Authams headed its way. Those are going to flee in terror for the back end of the base. Strat Bomber kind of just making its rounds around the map, trying to eliminate this, that, and the other thing. We have a group of Whalers moving in on the ACU now. Good thing about Whalers, they do have that radar spoof where the first volley of SAM fire will miss the gunships because it's targeted on one of the false radar blips unless those things have already been scouted. Nexus of Reality going down quite easily to the heavy firepower of those gunships. 300 DPS plus on each of those babies. Actually, I think I'm incorrect on that because they were rebalanced. But it's still a brutal amount of damage. Just under 300. And Harvey moving into the back here. Jazzy going to easily dispatch that with an overcharge. That means we're down to 2 players. There's a Fat Boy. That is actually a nice play, but it unfortunately walked directly into a Yathatha. And that is one good way to lose a Fat Boy. If you can make it into the shield, and if those Percivals can do enough damage, this might live. Nope. 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 It's not meant to be. The Yathatha will go down, though, but it's going to drop its Lightning Storm right there next to the base, eliminate what little defenses that Pascal has, and I think Pascal is not long for this world. Gunships and Strat Bombers taking out Jazzy, and that just leaves Pascal. If he can survive this little bit, which actually the Autumn's walking through the lightning there helped tremendously on him. Strat Bombers and Gunships coming in, but he does have plenty of anti-air in the form of T3 Mobile and I think a SAM somewhere. No, it's just T3 Mobile. Yep, there's the SAM right there. I knew I saw one. He is going to be able to fend off the air, at least for now, but then there's land units to deal with. Harbinger's moving in. Pascal, if he's able, yes, he got another shield up. If he can get an overcharge or 2 in, do some good things with his micro, he might live a little longer, but I don't think there's any way he's going to come back from this, especially when there's a Monkey Lord headed directly for his commander. He has 2 T4 Rex here that he could reclaim. If he had a little bit more distance between him and the enemy team, and a little more time to rebuild, he might actually be able to throw something together. But the way that this is all played out, I think this is it for him. Monkey Lord moving in. Just a matter of what gets the kill. I'm not sure what will actually get the kill. Alrighty, folks. It was an interesting meta, but it failed. If you do not do enough damage with your T1 bombers in the early portion of the game, then you will still die when your opponent gets to T3 air. Although, I will say that Soffles did a phenomenal job of transferring from T1 to the T3 stage while still doing a lot of damage to the opposing team. It was an awesome thing to watch, but that luck shot, the tack launchers in the back, that was one of the cheesiest things I've ever seen, and it was glorious. Cybran for the win, the backstabbiest nation of them all. I love it. Love every second of it. We now have 6 freaking Strat Bombers with a few Whalers as well. If that cannot kill this commander, I don't know what will. Pascal building shields, building P-Gens. Started a Fat Boy, not working on it though. Still the Monkey Lord and the Yathatha. If I were Westmania, I would ask for that T3 shield to be assisted to the Monkey Lord and follow the Yathatha in. Because that's 4,000 DPS with a meat shield in front of it and a shield on top of it. It would actually be able to do quite a bit of damage. That Yathatha, with its awesomely long range, is going to deal with some of the defenses. Definitely deal with a couple of these Percivals, and then I imagine going to walk into range of that ACU and usher it off the face of the earth with the help of a little bit of lightning and a Gatling gun. Pascal trying to get some Ravagers down, but it's doing a substantial amount of damage, but not enough, I'm afraid. Shields going down one after the other, simply not enough HP. And there goes Pascal. Yet another ball of fire. Somebody needs to do a Ring of Fire parody about this. There's a T1 bomber spam for Westmania as well. He finally gave into it. He's like, you know what? I'm good with this. I'm just going to build some T1 bombers because my opponent did. Well, that was a good game all the way around. So many mistakes, but it's all in the game. It's all good. It's all for fun. And that was quite entertaining. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.